Well, my name's Steve Dotto, and I am now a YouTube content publisher. That's what I do as a profession. For the better part of 20 years, I worked in traditional media. I produced and hosted a nationally syndicated television show, which was seen across the country. It was called Dotto Tech, and I showed people how technology fit in their lives. But a program like that has in today's world really doesn't belong on network television anymore. Much better is suited to the online world. And about 3 years ago, I stopped producing the TV show. Went through a little period of readjustment myself, and kind of went off into the hinterland for a little while. And then I came back and started to look at YouTube as a potential medium for me to continue my career. And YouTube was a breath of fresh air. I'd spent time exploring different social networks, looking at Facebook, looking at LinkedIn, trying to understand how they were going to fit, in intuiting that they were going to be significant in our society. And I do a lot of public speaking on the impact social media is having on our generations and in the workplace. But YouTube was an anomaly. It kind of sat off on its own, and I didn't really think of it as a social network till I began to really explore it. Because you think of YouTube as well, if you think about it at all, other than the fact that we use it a lot, but if you think about what it is, we just thought of it as a repository of video. We didn't really think about the fact that it has its own social culture and a potential for all of the different type of networking. And it also isn't burdened with a lot of the challenges that other social networks, especially Facebook, face the privacy issues, the bullying, the sort of stuff that happens within Facebook that concerns us as a society. We didn't see as much in YouTube, although certainly stuff could be put upon YouTube that would fall into some of those categories. But we never thought of YouTube as the social media platform itself. Well, coming from the broadcast TV world, and then starting to look at YouTube, it was a breath of fresh air for me because of one factor. When I looked at YouTube, for all 20 years that I was doing television, I faced a situation where I produced content, but I had no engagement with my audience other than on TV. I would present, an audience would watch it, I knew they were there, but I never had dialogue with them. I never had contact with them. And most importantly, they weren't my audience. There was a middleman. The network, the TV network, could hold my audience hostage. And I could build an audience over a period of years in a time slot that they would come to have a relationship with me. And then a programmer with the stroke of a pen could disenfranchise me from that audience and completely move me to another place. And I'd have to start rebuilding all over again. And when I pulled the plug on the show, but when I finally quit doing the show, I cut off my audience, and they thought I disappeared. And when people discover me now online, they go, I thought you'd gone. I didn't know where you were anymore. Because once you're cut off on that, once you're not there on the dial in the program, you're gone. You're just not there anymore, because we had no sidebar to communicate. The thing I discovered immediately as I started to build my YouTube channel was the audience was mine. People subscribed to my channel. I had the ability to engage with them. And YouTube, with quite a bit of anxiety from a lot of the community, they have always had a chat channel within YouTube, which was basically abused for years and years. Because there was no checkpoints as far as making sure that you were who you said you were. So there was a lot of trolling, a lot of abuse in the chat area. But YouTube recently changed the rules as far as the comment section to require you to use your Google Plus identity in order to comment, which meant that there was some credibility and there was some responsibility attached to the ID, and you could be banished, you could be all that sort of stuff. So now all of a sudden, in the comments area, people are actually engaging with me, and I'm engaging with my audience. Now the numbers aren't huge. On television, if you believe Nielsen, we reached an audience of something like 20 million people per year. But now I've got 20,000 subscribers, a little bit over 20,000 subscribers. But they're real. They're people who talk to me. I'm starting to recognize their faces and recognize and when I post a video on a certain topic, I know certain people will be commenting and adding value to that. And so all of a sudden, I recognized what I'm getting now is community. Which is what is a social network? It's community, and I'm building community based on YouTube. But of all of the online communities, it's the purest because of how YouTube handles its business case. Facebook is concerned with making money. Overall, they need to make money, and they're trying to find ways to make money, so they're adding advertising, and they're adding all sorts of, they're scraping our personal information so that they can target advertising more, and they're disenfranchising people left, right, and center. Brands, people like myself who spent time building up a Facebook following, that people would follow you in by clicking like my page. Remember we also said that, like my page. People like your page, and then all of a sudden Facebook says, well, for years they were saying spend money, get people to like your page. After a period of time, just about a year ago, they said, oh, by the way, all those people that liked your page, if you still want to talk to them, you got to give us money, because we're not going to let you reach them anymore. So now they're holding us hostage again. So there's no trust with Facebook, not from the consumers and not from the brands. But there is a necessity to Facebook because they reach so far and wide. With YouTube, there is a real level of trust because of one fact. Think about when you're trying to learn something. Think about when you're trying to figure out how you've bought a car and you got to change the headlight in your car. And you look inside the car and you go, Jimmy, how am I going to change the headlight in this car? I'll go to YouTube. And you go on your phone or on your tablet or on your computer, you go to YouTube and say, this model of car, changing the front headlight. You'll find a video. Somebody will walk you through it. And you do that once, and then you go, holy cow, now I got to change the light bulb in my oven. I've never changed a light bulb in an oven. What's it like? Is it dangerous? What type of light bulb? Go to YouTube. And we start to trust YouTube, because when we are looking for help, when we're looking to do something, we find it on YouTube. YouTube is now the second largest search engine in the world. Only Google's own main search engine is bigger than YouTube. It's bigger than Yahoo. It's bigger than Bing. It's bigger than everybody else. People trust YouTube because they find it. And YouTube gets that relationship. YouTube recently changed their search algorithms to go from how many times a video is viewed to how long a video is viewed. Because they recognized the value of engagement, because people would click, and there was that whole click away. You'd click on a video to see if it was something interesting, you'd click away. You click on it to see if it was go away. Those aren't valuable videos. You click on a video, you stay and you watch 40, 50, 60, 70% of it. You watch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes of a video. YouTube says that's valuable content, and they start bumping that content up in their search rankings. So a small-time publisher like me, who produces good quality content, not to a large audience, but is valuable, all of a sudden starts to find our results climbing very high in YouTube rankings, which makes it so democratic, because it's good quality content that rises to the top. And Facebook, if you want to be seen, you give Facebook money, and they'll make sure you're seen. That's hardly an affirmation that the content is pure and good. In Google itself, Google's constantly struggling with it. We have SEO experts. People make their living fooling Google into making your search results climb higher than somebody else's search results. It's search engine optimization, and it's this constant tug of war between Google and between people putting content into websites to make you find their website and make them climb above their competition. YouTube goes, oh, that's all crap. Here's the deal. Make good quality content. Say, do a search. Search for Evernote in YouTube. You will find me in top 3 or 4 in organic search. Organic search means the non-paid search, that's the very top. Why do they find it? Because if you look at my videos, they're all viewed 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes long, because I do real how-to content without any encumbrances from any corporate entities. There is still commerce happening. I allow YouTube to place ads within my content, which some people find invasive and some people don't. Frankly, I don't care if you find it invasive. I have to make a living, so I'll incorporate some advertising, and I make a certain amount of money from that. But the bottom line is the content that you're looking for, you find in YouTube. So we as a public now have a trust with YouTube that's gone beyond any other social network. We don't actually, if you think about all of the online properties, you probably don't trust any of them as much as you trust YouTube to show you what we want. Now, that's not to say that YouTube doesn't have a lot of crap on there. There's a lot of really bad stuff and poorly produced. I mean, it's a repository for every piece of, who knows, this video that we're making right now might end up looking like crap, but it doesn't matter. We can still put it up on YouTube, and we can say it's something interesting, and people will try and watch it. If it is interesting, if it's reasonably well produced, it doesn't have to be phenomenally produced. If it's reasonably well produced, then people will find it and they will watch it. That is the beauty of YouTube. And that's why I say that YouTube is the perfect, as far as in our imperfect world, it is the perfect social media platform. When I talk to different organizations and entities about their commitment to YouTube and whether or not they should be engaging in YouTube, they often want to look at what their competition is doing and try and see if they can be better than their competition, or if they can, and if there is a lot of people online giving the same sort of content, they go, oh, well, we don't want to do it then because there's too much competition, and look how good a job they do. Here's the thing about YouTube content. There is no competition. The audience is so vast that there is no competition. Think about you when you're interested in a topic. Can you find enough good sources for content on that topic? When I was starting to learn about internet marketing, when I first left doing the TV show and I needed to learn about doing mail lists and learning how to build my website and what should I be using, WordPress or Joomla or all these things, I searched online in YouTube and in Google, and I listened to expert after expert talking about the same topics while I came up with my own opinion on it. So the more different angles, the more different perspectives that I learned, that I listened to, the more I learned and was able to develop my own opinion on it. So all the time that we spend investing in creating content is worthwhile if we properly honor it. By properly honoring it, I mean this. When you create a video, don't hide it under a rock. Put it out there, publish it, tag it properly, give it a good description, give it a good title, and make sure that it's well supported in the fact that you've given all of the different, that you've layered it with all of the different bells and whistles to make it so that people can find it and make it look reasonably pretty when it's up there. And then if you've got good content, make sure it's posted into other areas. Cross-post is what we call it, making sure that it's not just living in YouTube, which is a good place to start, but that you're cross-posting it into your own blogs on your own website. Perhaps you're taking those blogs and then you're cross-posting them into Facebook. But your bottom line is you're taking good, valuable content that you know is good quality, and you're shining a light on it. You're making sure that people that are interested in it have an opportunity to find it. And the lifespan of a video on YouTube, you don't know what it's going to be. It could last for a very long time. And then the last thing is, what's your audience? What are your numbers? People go, oh, gee, I posted a video and only 300 people have watched it. Really? Only 300 people watched it? If I put 300 people in this room right now and showed them your video, would you say there's only 300 people watching it? You'd be going, holy cow, there's 300 people watching my video, right? It's the numbers, because when we look at YouTube numbers, they can be so vast. We lose ourselves in those numbers. You don't need to measure yourself by those numbers. You measure your numbers by looking at one view equals one person, and the value of that person viewing your video. What is that to you? That's what you have to decide. Me personally, every single one view that I have, I consider to be incredibly valuable.